All right. Question. What is a practical way to control your words? Is there something I can learn? I assume the Bachar is asking about Nivel Peh, and he's wondering, is there a way that he can learn something that will help him with Nivel Peh? So, L'chaira, if I understand correctly, the Rebbe's message and these kind of things always is the same. For someone to learn Perek Mem Aleph and Tanya. Perek Mem Aleph and Tanya is the Rebbe's therapy for many, many things. And basically, if you think that Hashem is watching over you at every moment, that helps a lot. And the facts are that many Brachim that have an issue with the words that they use in front of their parents, in front of their teachers, they don't have that issue. Why? Because it's an automatic, okay, my father's here now, my mother's here now, I can't speak this way. So the moment you have that awareness that Hashem is standing right next to you, that should solve the problem. That's like the right answer. Another answer that I suggest that we do with a lot of Bachram is that you take for yourself a roll of pennies or nickels, whatever you're comfortable with, and you tell yourself, let's say, certain words that you have a challenge that they come out of your mouth all the time, and you have that for a week, let's say, and you see that every time that you say one of the bad words, you put a penny into tzedakah pushka, and this way, over a week, you look back and you see it. It's like a challenge for yourself. At some Bachram, I do it even more than that. I can't offer it to everybody, but I've offered it to some Bachram, is that I give them the pennies, and at the end of the week, for every penny that they have remaining, I give them $1. So this way, it's like more of an incentive, and so slowly they train themselves. And for some Bachram it worked. For some Bachram, if a Bachram really wants to work on himself, and that's what's going to work for him, then we can work on it. I sometimes get funding for these things, so that's a svara. But I'll find him. That's the right answer. The true answer is Perek Mem Aleph and Tanya. When it comes to words, so just the next question has a word that some people might consider a not appropriate word. So when it comes to appropriate things and not appropriate, the rule always is whatever you're comfortable, whatever you grow up with. That's the general rule. And therefore, there are words that in some languages are considered bad, and some languages are not bad. So, for example, in English, saying someone's a crazy maniac is not a problem at all. But saying that word in Hebrew is one of the worst words you can say. So it's all the context. So Kapanim, this word is a word that's not meant to be used tamazay, but it's not a bad word, but it's bichlal, it's used out of context in the question, but that's only the Akdama. The question is, what is your opinion on growing pubic hair on your back? So pubic hair is that's the word I'm talking about. Pubic hair means the hair that grows in your body parts, in your private parts, and that after you become bar mitzvah, that's when it starts growing. The hair on your back is not pubic hair, it's a different word, it's just a part of your body, so not everyone has it. Depends on your background, v'chulu v'chulu. So the question is, what's my opinion on growing hair on your back? My opinion is irrelevant. Either you're going to have hair on your back, or you're not going to have hair on your back. My opinion is not important. The question might be, is it okay to shave the hair on your back? Which I think we had this question a while ago. And the answer is, according to halacha, a man is allowed to shave his hair on his back. A woman, for sure, if she has such a thing, but a man, for sure, is also allowed to shave hair off his back if it's not completely shaven razor through like all the way to the bottom. Like not a razor is for sure 100% permitted. If it's a razor or laser to get rid of it all the time, that's already questionable. And for medical purposes, it's permitted. Medical purposes could mean if someone feels that he sweats a lot more because of that, or others. So like I mentioned last time when the question came up, that I have a bacher that is not here anymore, older, that he had the shayla, he was talking to me, he told me he asked it off. He asked me like as a mashbiach kivyachol, but he asked it off, and the Rav told him that he's allowed to if he wants to, but he's whatever his specific situation, he was permitted to. So the dry halach is that you're allowed to, but probably you should ask it off just to make sure 100%.
Using razor?
Yeah.
Is it not like
No. So that's for pubic hair, that's not an issue. Pubic hair is a problem, but this is not an issue. I don't know, I didn't learn the whole sugya, but that's what it seems like the place can say. I didn't see the reasons why, mamish. What is your opinion on watching sports? Watching sports is a very general term. It all depends on who and what and when. So the first thing is, the famous word. Every Aved is with a Yetzer Hara. What's the It means that there are sometimes a person doesn't have a Yetzer Hara for something, and he brings it upon himself. So there are Bachrim that when the way they grew up, they have no interest in sports, but then they see other Bachrim following sports, so they bring upon themselves a new Yetzer Hara to watch sports. In that case, it's definitely wrong. that case a bacher should not follow sports, should not be connected to it. I still remember the days of Postville that no one followed sports in Postville. None of the Postville family kids followed sports, and there was one bacher in yeshiva over here, and he was into sports. He came from New York, and he got involved with a certain family, and because of that, that family, the oldest brother was a younger bacher in yeshiva then, and because of that older bacher, that younger bacher got involved in the sports, and because of that, almost his whole family follows sports, besides Echad Yachid Amiyuchad. But and that bacher, then from then on, other kids in the community started happening. And that bacher, I met him years ago. I told him afterwards, "Well, what do you want? On my foot, what should I do? Whatever." But he basically, in a way, ruined the whole community. And Shemaine that ruined. Akapanim, that's like a maimer, a musgar. The point is that it's not it's a harder, which is. I heard that the Rebbe once said it's like a kosher Yitzhar. I don't know if that's true or not, but it really depends on the person. It depends on the situation. Of course, a Chassidish Abacher, a real Chassidish Abacher would never be involved in watching any kind of sports because it's not meisif in Avodas Hashem. Yet there are some shluchim. There's a famous shliach that is a very big knacker. He's a shliach that kochs sich in the Rebbe's in Yonim, every last prat. He's like mamish knows that the Rebbe went like this and went like that, and all those in Yonim. And at the same time, he's a die-hard Yankee fan. Every single game, make sure to watch. And it's a very yadua amongst the shluchim, amongst the bachrim, who he is. And there's a few guys like that. So it's not mamish astira, but it's understood that it's not meisiv in Avodas Hashem. You have to have an outlet, and that's the only outlet. So all the answer really depends. The ideal is not to have any shaykhs to anything that's not connected to kedusha. If a person feels that that's his only outlet, and he has that, and everything else is fine, then there's yesh mokim go the lahakim. Who is the shliach? Where's your shliach? Who's the shliach? What's his name? You want to know if his name is Shai or Shachar? His name is not Shai or Shachar. No, probably not. Abacher came to me this year, and we know that last week there was the Super Bowl, so Abacher came to confess to me, Nebach, he watched the Super Bowl, what should he do? It's a big deal. It's not the biggest Aveda, it's not a big deal. So whatever, it's not such a big deal. If it's not shaykh to you, you shouldn't go weiter, but it's not. That's not your biggest Aveda. Which breed of dog went on the teva? Went is spelled W-E-N-T, not W-H-E-N-T. That's when, like matai. Kopanim, which breed of dog went on the teva? So on the teva, it's a big discussion because the teva, if you have all the animals in the world and you learn the dimensions of the dimensions of the teva were 300,
31.
One. What's the one? The mark at the top. Oh, that's good. I never thought of that one. 350 and 30. So if you make the dimensions of the table, there is no room to fit all the animals that we have in zoos today, and therefore there's some afarshim. The main answer is always explained how did all the animals fit. Is because there was a miracle. L'maylam in ateva, like Yemesa Mashiach. It's a maylam is mimokim. That's the basic answer. However, there is a pirush called the Radal. The Radal stands for Rabbi David Lurio. Is a big Talmud Chacham, times of the Samach Tzedek, and he writes in the Sefer a very interesting pirush, which we said last year in the dinosaur show, whoever remembers. And he says that there are many types of breeds today of dogs and cats and other animals out there, and really all these breeds come from the same original breed, and over time, basically because of evolution, basically the breeds develop differently. So he says that before the Mabul, Hashem told Noach to take the original breed of dog. Hastes, when Hashem created the animals in Sheishis and Bebereshis on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, those animals that were created then, so not Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, so when he created all those, so he created the original one breed of dog, one breed of cat, v'chulu v'chulu, and over time it evolved in different types. But the original breed remained. And according to that, the Radal says that Noach, Hashem told him specifically, or based on the breeds that came, the original breed came, and that breed that came afterwards, after the Teva, it evolved again, weiter. And we said then in the Tainus Asher Svara that maybe there were different breeds before the Mabul, and maybe they evolved differently, just like now you can have new breeds, you cross hybrids, it's a big thing today. There's a Bacher used to learn here, that today is, I think it's Parnasa, or he wants it to be his Parnasa, to sell snakes. Python snakes, and he said it's a whole big mumchashav to get pythons different colors and crossbreed them, and you get new colors that don't exist. And if you got a unique kind of color, if it's within the same species, you're allowed to. It's not kilaim. If a Schwarzer marries a Weiss, that's kilaim. It's not kilaim. It's just different colors. It's the same breed. There's different colors, different patterns, and two zebras have different patterns. They get married. It's not. It's just zebras. It also looks all the same, but it's obvious that each zebra has it's its own barcode. It's its own scan. But Al-Derech is over here, so it's a whole thing. You're making a color than ever since before. So within dogs itself, it's also the same idea. So that's these are basically two answers. Either it was miraculous that all the dogs were there, or it was one specific, the original. Which one is it? So today scientists try to learn, and they say that the original dog is really a wolf, or the original wolf is really a dog, and they have all these svardas, which could be taka true that a few thousand years ago there was only one species, and that everything came from it, and they knew that he knew the original one. Yeah.
I know you're going on to the next question, but I still have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
What if you like just want to watch like a sports game, not because you're going for a specific team, but just because you want to watch the fun of like you want to see like how like professionals play like sports.
It's the same idea. It's also there's brought on Chazal about watching stadiums and more about hunting, but the same idea. But Pashtus is not the biggest Avera, but the Pashtus of Siddush Shabacher should not be going there. If you already have that Taiva from before, you grew up with it, and it's very strong, you really want to do it, you should work on other things before you do a Skafi on that. But if you have no shy, it doesn't really interest you, and it's not a big deal to ignore it, then you should ignore it.
But if someone who grew up with them, whatever, which is very strong, if he overcomes that, so you can be able to overcome.
Yeah, but if it's making him depressed and he's having withdrawal and he can't handle it and whatever, and it's some Bachram is like that. Some Bachram, they can't watch their team. We know what happens. How do you properly pronounce the word Eloika? Aleph Lamed, Aleph Sagel, Lamed Cholam, and a Patach Hey. So, this is a common mistake. A lot of Bachram, a lot of people pronounce it Ha at the end of the word. Loi Ha. However, it's just like Pataches. Pataches at the end of the word is not Mashiach, it's Mashiach. Now really, the Pataches at the end of the word can either be Ach or Yach, or even Ach with an ayin, I heard. So it's Mashiach, Yach is Yud, or Mashiach, Aleph. And I saw Svara also ayin. So that's it's both ways are correct according to Diktuk, different opinions, and by Hey it's the same thing. It's either Loya or Loya, but not Loyha. And this is assuming that a Hey is a Hey. The way Americans is, we say it, Hey is like an H sound, and Aleph is an A sound. However, Israelis, they say the opposite. Halif and A. That's how many Israelis say it. And according to them, this would be the right way over here also. The point is that it's supposed to be a patach at the end of the word. So the point is that a patach at the end of the word is like a pataches. So just like by ches, you don't say cha, you say ach or yach. You don't say ha, you don't say patach, you say either patach aleph or patach yud, whatever your aleph and hey is supposed to sound like. Important question. What should I do if I want to punch all the Shir Aleph Bachram? Well, not all of them, because he's not even here. He's not here. Jacobson's not here. Huh? Jakey's pretty chill. No. How do I stop myself? Very simple. Take a picture of yourself in Shir Aleph and see how much people wanted to punch you in Shir Aleph, and then remember what it was, and have Rachmanis on them. Every year it's the same exact thing. Oh, this year, Gimel Bachram, look at this year, Aleph Bachram, oh, they're such babies, so mature. Every single year, it hasn't happened that there was, besides many Kreismans, only Bachar that comes out is already mature, Shir Gimel. But every single year that sounds like that, and just remember what it was to be like that, and hopefully that will be able to overcome your terrible Yitzhahara. Should we make a vlog? So I just got an education what a vlog is. The Bachar was so kind to explain it to me. The subject, what it's about, definitely not. And based on what I understand, vlogs are not really productive. They don't help in any kind of way in Avodas Hashem. So therefore, no, don't make a vlog. Question, what is the proper age to start Shidduchim? Did the Rebbe ever speak about this? So Hashgacha Baruch just now I saw on Anash, I think it was on Anash, somewhere I saw, they just found a Nusich of the Rebbe that was not published till recently. A few weeks ago, it says, maybe less even, that the Rebbe spoke by Fabrengen, and the Rebbe said the proper age of Shidduchim is the age of 20. And the Rebbe said that in Lubavitcher was Yadua that you stay in yeshiva till 20, not like in the Litvish yeshivas, where they would stay till the age of 25 and 30, it's still 20. And then the Rebbe said, I feel uncomfortable talking about it because I did not get married at the age of 20. I got married at the age of
27.
26 or 27?
27.
So B'meila, I was in the age of 20, so Kivyachol, it's like hypocritical for me to speak about it or not. But the Rebbe clearly, it's in many letters, the Rebbe speaks about it. The Rebbe says that the ages should be earlier. The Rebbe says, you learn from the Sfardim. By the Sfardim, they would get married at a younger age. That's the way it's supposed to be. And the Rebbe Sinu Siyenu, again, besides the Rebbe, all the Rebbe did get married at a younger age. So definitely the ideal is to get married at a younger age. And it's not really, in this particular Sikha that just came out now, the Rebbe says the age of 20. But it's understood that it's as soon as you're basically done yeshiva, or even within yeshiva, if you feel that you're ready for it. That's the ideal. In my opinion, most Bachim, the age of Shir Gimel, Shir Dalet Zal, that's when they should start Shidduchim. No one listens to me, Kamuvan. And, Shir Gimel Zal, Shir Dalet Zal. That's when I think Mesifta also not Mesifta not. I don't think you're in Mesifta. You're ready. You're never really ready. So you start. But Shir Dalet Zal, the earlier you get married, the better off you're going to be, in my opinion. Whatever, you're right. I'm not talking about the Israeli system, Shir Gimel. But you're right. Basically, after 2 years of Dal, I'm saying it in Svarda. Practically speaking, if your Bacher comes to me in Shir Dal Zal and asks me, should I get engaged? I'll have to don kolecha the gufe where you're particularly holding. But in general, I think that most Bachim should be getting engaged earlier, and it'll be beneficial for them in many, many ways. I think it does even earlier than that, in that particular one. If I remember correctly, maybe I'm wrong, but definitely earlier. 18 is Shir Aleph Zal. So Ramela, so Shir Beis is already Alachamaisi. And there's a svara that Jemen Shemar is really the 17th years, when you're 17 years old. Bacher has a question about girls, which is not Negeya. The answer is in short yes, but in Kam Bakoimei, the Bacher knows what he wrote, that's the answer. Question, if someone relates more to Breslev Chasidus, should he become a Breslev or Chasid, or stay Chabad but learn Chasidus Breslev? So it's a very, very broad question. I'm not sure what he means that he relates more to Breslev Chasidus. What does that mean? I mean, you might say the levushim of Breslev. I don't know, Breslev has special levushim. You like dancing, you like stopping in the street and dancing in the middle of the street. You like going out to trees and doing his beidadus. You like learning the chassidus of Rab Nachman. All of the above are beautiful minhagim which can be adopted by any Lubavitcher. Don't have to be a stira. I don't see a problem with that at all. How do you define a Breslev Chassid and a Chabad Chassid? Any way of service of Hashem based on Teres Baal Shem Tov and Teres Chassidus is right. Now, specifically, Chassidus Chabad has to be learned by everybody. Chassidus Chabad doesn't require for somebody to have a specific inyanim. For example, having short payas, that's not what defines Chassidus Chabad. The Chassid of the Rebbe will want to have the payas that the Rebbe spoke about, which I mentioned in the past. We spoke about this, not having the curly payas, not having payas behind your ears, but that's already, it's not Chassid Chabad. That's specifically the Rebbe's minhagim. You can be a Chassid that serves the Eibishter according to Chassidus Chabad and still stop at the street signs and go around and dancing and go out to doing his beidadus. It's not the derech of Chassidus Chabad per se, but it's if a bacher is allowed to go and watch a sport game, he can definitely go and do his beidus and these things. It's definitely, especially this is a thing which is meisif in Avedis Hashem. As long as you're also learning Chassidus Chabad. Learning Chassidus Chabad, that's a requirement. That's a must. That's what the Baal Shem Tov told, the Mashiach told the Baal Shem Tov, that when is a Masay Kos Yemadich, Sheyafutzu Man Nitzach HaChutza. Yafutzu means an Eifon of Afatzu, which is Chassidus Chabad, that everybody must do. That's a requirement. But the B'chik Ves, what kind of payas you're going to have, and what kind of hat and shrimal you're going to have, that's not part of being a Chassid Chabad. And if you like the Breslev Yarmulkes more, that's perfectly fine. Is your father coming for the father and son weekend Shabbos? Add details. He didn't come, and I don't know which more details you want to add.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Why is he not coming? He's not coming because it happened already. And why didn't he come? Because he wasn't able to come. And he comes other times, so why should he come for this specific Shabbos? Next question, how do I not snap? That's an important question.
Snap or snack?
Snap. No, it's an important question. It's very important. Some Bachim, we know what happened over here in the yeshiva recently. It's a very important question. I think it was spoken about a number of times. But the most important thing is to get enough sleep and to get enough eating. Eating and sleeping is the most important thing. Unfortunately, stories of Bachram snapping is not rare. It's much as it, I can Baruch Hashem say in our 15 years of yeshiva over here, this was the first time that happened in yeshiva while I was here, to a Bacher that I saw. But it was like beginnings of cases where Bachram went home afterwards, but even it was very rare. But in the bigger picture, as a Bachram myself, I had friends in the yeshiva that happened to them. My father remembers Bachram that in yeshiva that happened with them, and I know of Bachram and other yeshivas. So it's definitely something which happens. And the most important thing is sleeping. The Bachar that we had, the challenge that he had, was definitely a result of not sleeping. There's no question about it. People afterwards are able to realize that he didn't sleep in a long time. When you don't sleep, your body doesn't react. Your body doesn't react. There can be many different things. There can be medical issues, physical health, and there can be mental health. So the most important thing is to have enough sleep. Having enough sleep doesn't mean, for some reason, it doesn't mean sleeping from 3 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the morning. That's not the same thing. It has to be 7 hours. After the beginning of the night, like the Rambam says, that's when you're supposed to be sleeping. Having a healthy night from 11-ish till 7-ish, if you have that every night, and once in a blue moon you stay up later, no. But al pirayv, you have to have, you're good at this age, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Once you have that, that's number one. And number two is to eat enough. The same idea, if you don't eat enough, then your body doesn't react. Your body has to compensate. Your body has to try to do things which will not be regular to it. So that can be the danger. Those are the two most important things. After that, the most important thing after sleeping and eating is to have a mashpia. And the reason why Bachram snap is because they start thinking to themselves, this is the way to bring Mashiach, or this is the way to be a chassid, or whatever they're trying to accomplish. I know of someone that snapped. There was Yud Shvat, Tavshin Samach, I think, or Tavshin Samach Aleph or Samach, I don't remember. But it was basically 50 years. It was 50 years of the Rebbe's Nasiya, either Samach or Samach Aleph, and he was thinking such an important day, he can't just sleep and eat like regular. So 2 weeks before Yud Shvat, he decided he's going to be learning nonstop till Yud Shvat. And again, so the result was the main thing was the Bepel Mamish not sleeping. That's what led to it. But really, if he would have had a mashpia and he would have discussed with his mashpia, what's my proper achonis for Yud Shvat, he would have been told you have to sleep and you have to eat, and at the same time you have to be meisif in your waking hours and your not eating hours. What you should be meisif, and so that's really second on the list. If a bacher makes sure to sleep and eat enough all the time, al pi teva, that should be the main concern, and nothing else should happen, and that's across the board. But in addition to that, having a mashpia will guide you to tell you which kind of things you should take, and also taking things seriously. Okay, now that we have the Shabbos fathers and sons. So speaking to different fathers, so some fathers are concerned that their son is going in one direction, and some fathers are concerned their son is going the other direction. Like my son's coming to Chassidus, I mean, fathers, all fathers, this is a fear of a father. My son's coming to Chassidus, and he's gonna snap. So when you tell a father, don't worry, your son is still drumming. In the past, we had such a bacher. He came very Chassidus, but he was into drumming. But he still had his drums. No matter how Chassidus he was, he spent every day 20 minutes, half hour drumming. Now, some of his friends were telling him to stop drumming, Chassidus, whatever. And I was telling him, no, you have to continue drumming. You have to Adar, as long as you're still drumming, it's good. Don't worry. So Shmuel, I told your father, you're still playing guitar, we're good. No concerns. Same idea. Whatever, you have to have some kind of outlet which is klibas noiga, but it's giving you a geschmack and klusha. But if you have to have something there. I mean, a bacher doesn't have any other outlets. But the chatchila is like cool and calm with what's going on. It's beseder. But a bacher that's certain that was involved in different things, whether it's exercise or playing the drums or whatever, playing sports or any other kind of thing that he did. And mitab only drops it all and goes full force just in kedusha. That's a concern that you have to. Then the mashpia will tell him. I was told that in Lubavitch there was on Friday afternoons there was no mitzvahim then, so Bacham would go swimming in the lake. There was a lake in Lubavitch. Bacham would go swimming. It was like a break time, but would go swimming. So I heard that the mashpiyim would tell certain ovdim, Bacham that were big ovdim, would daven for hours every day. They have to go swimming on Friday afternoon. What? They have extra time. They want to learn more chassidus. No, they have to go swimming. So I don't think every single bacher had to go swimming every single Friday, but the mashpiyim felt this bacher has to relax himself and so the mashpiyah guided him and taking care of himself. So that's that's secondary, because al pi roiv, if the main problem is that because of the getting involved too much, then your body can't handle the lack of sleep and lack of food. That's the main problem.
It's already arranged.
There's no room. All the ducks are taking up the space. We can't. Yeah.
It's the same idea of learn something that's like too much kedusha, and they have
hard to know if it's too much Kedusha. Usually it's not a result of Kedusha. It's a result of their bodies not handling. Because you don't sleep enough, you don't eat enough, then your body doesn't function.
Even like,
Klois HaNefesh.
yeah.
Yeah, by most Bachrim that snap is not Klois HaNefesh. Another story, there was one...
Close the circle, you know?
It's there are similarities to it, but it's different. It was one of the biggest mashpiyim in Lubavitch. His name was Reb Shilem Kuratin. Reb Shilem Kuratin, it says about him great things. A big Baal Tshuva, you'll hear stories about him. But one story you're not going to see, I never saw anywhere else, but Rabbi Gurkov told it to me, that Reb Shilem Kuratin, every once in a while, he would sleep in for 2 or 3 days, almost straight. He would work, and then he felt that he can't handle, so he would sleep for 2 or 3 days straight. So again, it's obviously, that's not a hirah to anybody, because it's dangerous. That's very dangerous, because he was able to test himself to know, okay, till now, and now we can sleep. But most Bachrim do it properly. 8 hours a night, eat proper meals, and then have your exercise, your guitar, whatever you're doing, and serve Hashem to the best you can. You don't have to get yourself a new outlet, but most Bachrim already have something. Huh? All right.
When they sleep the whole Friday, is that the whole night?
Maybe different timing. I hear what you're saying. I don't know. That's different timing.